to start them and test them.
Okay, because.
Oh, that's what that was. 'Cause I'm like,
And-
man, they use a lot.
No, it was for that and refilling the auxiliary tank that we used initially to fill. And
Yeah.
we still only put 15 gallons in each one, which wasn't enough. They had to override the low fuel warning.
Oh, okay.
There's a $400 one on.
Yeah, on the Voyager?
Not Voyager, just regular.
Yes, on a regular one. That's what I was just asking him about. Why he put it on there.
Okay. I could start it, so no, I'm not organized. I was thinking out.
Becky was here a minute ago and then it dropped.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. This is the Fraser Park Public Utility District regular meeting agenda for Thursday, June 13th, 2024 at 6 p.m. We're actually starting right at 6. We have additional teleconference locations of 820 Elm Trail, Fraser Park, California 93225. And even though we have it on the agenda, we are not using 3844 Mount Pinos Way, Fraser Park, California 93225. That's teleconference locations. Okay, so I'd like to call this meeting to order. We're gonna start with a pledge to the flag. Oh.
Is there a reason the camera's not on?
Cause I didn't look over there at the minute.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, roll call of directors. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman.
Here.
Director Kelling.
Here,
Director Gibson.
Here.
And I'm Director Schoenberg. I'm here. Okay, so we have 4 of the 5 directors. Item number 2, discussion, that is a quorum. Discussion, item 2, discussion vote adjust agenda if necessary. Do we need to adjust anything on the agenda? Okay, if so, we can come back to that, I guess, as needed. Okay. Item number 3, public comments. Items not listed on the agenda is limited to 5 minutes. Thank you. Are there any public with comments for items not listed currently on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, I will move on to item 4, report of officers. President's report. I don't have anything to report. Oh, actually I do. I guess I signed 2 of the claims tonight. So, I did, do that. Vice President's report. He's not here. Secretary report.
Nothing to report.
Treasurer's report.
I don't think there's anything to report.
Okay, and JPIA representative report.
I have nothing to report.
Okay. Item 5, board member initiatives. Are there any board member initiatives for future agendas? Hearing none, I'll go on to item 6, manager's report.
All right. Crew's been really busy with helping with the meter replacement. We have had some leaks. And, we had to go out on this morning at 4:30, a leak sprung up on Buena Vista on an 8-inch. And, after the report, it's the first time that two new guys were able to overcome getting a clamp on. Me and Corey usually like to jump in, and we decided we had to let him do it. So they battled it, but they won, they got it, so that's good. So I have high hopes for when me and Corey aren't around, that they can still handle it. And other than that, everything's covered by the agenda items.
And that was the one that was in the, in the social media.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Hey, help.
I mean, I'm not on that, so I don't
Oh, okay.
go there, but got called out at 4:30, but they ended up hand digging, because by the time we were getting the clamp on, that's when the gas company came, so it could have ran for an extra, few hours than it needed to, because we couldn't get the locator up here fast enough. But they just hand dig. You can hand dig them a lot of times when they're not real deep and they're on a slope street like Buena Vista is, because it kind of excavates itself.
Which side is Buena Vista?
If you go up, Monterey, up the dirt part and make a left on Los Padres, you make an immediate right and go to
Okay.
parcel B. It's that steep.
Oh,
road
okay.
it's on.
Oh, okay.
And luckily, Dee's gonna try to include that line on the pipeline replacement. Because it's that bad, so he's already was planning for it, and then today we had that big leak on it.
Great, thank you. Any questions for, John Manager Allison? Okay, 6A Administrative Assistance Report.
It's all agenda items.
Okay. Item 7, Standing Committee Reports. We'll start with the Accounts Payable Committee.
We met, we went through invoices, we asked Deborah to cut checks and we signed them and we'll go through everything in financials.
Thank you. Any questions? Guess we'll come up with financials. Okay, state update
Yeah.
meeting is next week,
Yeah, there's an.
so nothing yet. Okay, so, going on to item 8, ad hoc committee reports, project committee. Did we report? Yeah, we reported when we went for the tour thing, so. Yeah, so nothing since then, right? So yeah, nothing on the project committee since then. Financial committee, we did meet.
We met, we did.
Since
No, it
the
was
last
no,
No, it's-
no,
no, you
No,
could-
it was,
and the question I have is when you and Roma met to go through the bond book, it was supposed to be, I guess, a financial ad hoc.
It couldn't be a financial.
No,
ad
because
hoc.
that's you
It
and
was
I,
half financial ad hoc
and half project.
no, half, account, AP.
but it could, but we don't have an AP ad hoc.
We only have a
So
standing.
we-
We have a standing
so-
committee, so I don't know.
I mean, we have a
So-
standing committee, so you didn't have, if it's not a standing committee, so we need to, during financials, we need to either
Address
put,
that.
address it, maybe just put it for a one time under the financial ad hoc.
Or, yeah, we gotta do something, okay?
Yeah, we didn't know what to do with that.
There's no reason it can't be a financial ad hoc, I mean, it is the financials.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't switch people on an ad hoc, you can switch people on a standing committee. But, right?
There's not a lot of,
I don't think there's a rule on that, though.
Well,
That's,
there's no rule, though, it should just be under financial. ad hoc.
yeah, we'll just have Deborah reclassify.
I thought there was,
Classify
I thought that was why we were having all those problems. And I had to do stuff by myself a couple times because we couldn't switch somebody into an ad hoc, we could only switch them onto a standing committee.
yeah, I mean, there isn't a
Because
lot
we
written
vote
about
on
it,
who's supposed
but
to be on an ad
we
hoc.
do vote unless next time we make.
I think next
ad
time we
hocs,
vote,
just have
an alternate,
alternate
yeah.
I thought you guys did that.
for the
We
standing.
Have an alternate
Oh,
for standing
standing.
committee.
That makes-
Yeah, that's why we're all confused.
Yeah, we need to always have an alternate for any.
Right, so
Yeah.
we need to put that on the agenda so that we can vote as that, to have an alternate
Yeah.
for all our ad hocs.
Yeah,
You guys are never gonna understand. You guys are gonna have to be like, look at a big tree chart like. oh,
Yes,
man, what-
yes, we need one.
okay. Well, so, hearing nothing else on, so we didn't report on that. So on the financial ad hoc, what happened is, and whatever we're gonna call it, whatever we're gonna deal with when we get to that point. We went over the issue with the bond book. And so, Director Nyman, do you wanna talk about, looked at it at length?
Yeah, basically, we went over it and, we found that we have been, not putting in enough money. And it's significant amount of money, and so we need to, start putting in the right amount.
And lower the amount of because we've been putting it into the
What-
capital improvement.
Right, but
fund.
she's already stopped the capital.
I stopped the
improvement.
capital improvement because that's,
Yeah,
what we voted on
So we have
before.
nothing going in.
Right, but I mean, that's, but
But,
it's
but there's
not,
nothing going into that account either, so we gotta,
right, so that's something we need to vote on, I guess, during financials as well.
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so, but yes, it was correct that it wasn't, we weren't reading it correctly. Actually, it wasn't us, it was that we were taking the word of someone who.
It was a previous bookkeeper
correctly.
that used to do it, and now we looked at it closer, it was done incorrectly.
Yeah. Okay, so are there any questions about that? Otherwise, I'm gonna move on to 9, financial business. Okay, moving on, discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information.
Good evening.
Good
Hi,
evening.
Deborah. So, we prepared 27 checks out of the revenue operating account totaling $50,235.48. The extraordinary disbursements include JPIA employee benefit for $9,134.58. The primary visa, $3,263.62. An invoice for Ferguson in the amount of $4,534.77. The Edison monthly statement for $7,391.22. And a payment to Young Woolridge for $13,770.92.
And you're keeping track of that, Tiffany?
Okay, and Deborah, I found a couple of not classified correctly invoices. I didn't finish going through everything, but on the credit card, there's a couple, they're really small amounts, but one of them was at it's on Ace, not the credit card, at Ace. There's probably stuff on the credit card too, but at Ace, there was a wrong classification. It's the battery brush from Ace is under distribution system, but it's actually supposed to be under vehicle maintenance.
Okay,
Vehicle maintenance? Or
vehicle maintenance.
is it vehicle maintenance, Johnny, or is it
Equipment?
equipment maintenance?
For the brush. I mean, the way you've been categorizing things, it'd probably be a tool.
Oh, okay, so we can put it under tools.
A tool?
Fine.
51026. Okay, wait, let me just write that down.
And I wrote it on the paper in here.
So you'll just have to look through the things to see if we changed stuff. Maybe we need little stickies.
Okay, well,
No,
I
you-
do have the lists here, so,
Okay, and then there was another one on Ace that was a diesel can, 31.99. That was under vehicle maintenance, and it's actually supposed to be under equipment maintenance.
you said it was Ace?
It's a Ace, yeah.
It's a fuel can.
It's a fuel can, diesel can, 5 gallon.
Okay. And it should be what?
Equipment maintenance instead of vehicle maintenance.
Okay.
And then I think there was a couple things under, but I don't have that in front of me.
As I said, well, she'll have to kind of skim through and see.
Yeah, you may wanna skim through, that was the stuff I found from Ace, but I think there was some stuff on the credit card too. I already put that away. Okay, so,
I'll move that we pay our bills.
I'll second that.
okay, any discussion on the bills? Roll call directors, Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Hi.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes 4-0-0-1 absent.
And I think we can do a vote on the, even though it's not on the agenda, it's
Yeah,
financial.
that's fine.
We,
Go ahead, I'll go after.
I shouldn't be making the motion, but,
I move that we,
for,
for one time, we put Director Nyman
We have,
on,
we have a problem. Cause I'm on that ad hoc. We only have two other directors.
that's true, we need a third over there.
well, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll vote, I can vote for it. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Well, theoretically, you shouldn't.
As long as only Nyman abstained, fine, because he's the only one who changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're.
Okay, I move that we, put Director Nyman for one time on the financial ad hoc,
Which was on 5:30.
which was on June 30th of 2024.
No, it was 5:30, May 30th.
Oh, May 30th, or May 30th. On the financial ad hoc
To go over the bonds.
to go over the bond.
Do I hear a second? Hopefully Director
I'll second
Gibson,
it.
because. Okay, great. Any questions? Roll call directors, Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman,
I abstain.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Hi.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes, so Director Nyman will be temporarily was put on the financial ad hoc for one day only, 5:30, so that he could get paid for looking at the bond book,
And-
which was
and
the
Deborah-
previous thing that we discussed.
Yeah.
Deborah, you need to update that from what,
Financial
made a
ad
note.
hoc.
okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so that motion passes. That is 3-0, 1 abstention and 1 absent.
Okay, now we have to do the, what
Let me
account do
get,
you want the other stuff going into?
Well, huh? Oh,
The,
Alternates?
no.
no, we'll have that put on the agenda.
Oh, you want to do that on
We'll
a
do
certain
that,
junk?
yeah.
Okay. So we'll just keep things the way they are. No money will be going into capital improvement until 2 weeks.
okay, so you're gonna put that on the agenda, a discussion on what amounts go where.
Okay.
That's good anyway, because we're finding that we believe there's gonna be a pretty big difference in, the new meters, the reads. So by the time we read again, we should have a better understanding of the money that's gonna be coming in now.
So you wanna wait for a month or you wanna wait?
No, I think we're gonna read meter reads on the 20th, is that?
Yeah, probably by Monday, this next week, we're gonna be
Yeah,
putting them all in
So
there.
you're saying they're more accurate and so there was.
yeah,
money we were
I think there was a
missing.
lot of things not being caught and read for water usage, so that being the case, it should help us out a little bit, so we'll know better.
So we're gonna have a bunch of angry customers that we're getting a good deal before.
Well, of course, yeah, there's gonna be.
People who got away with
We've had
stuff.
some angry customers that, they'd had, 1-inch meters installed instead of 3/4-inch meters. And we gave them the option of you either keep it at the 1-inch meter rate or we downsize it. So we downsized it because, everybody wants something But, my other thing is, it should be the last one we have to deal with. The other one where we overbilled for a 1 inch instead of a 3/4 for years, we had to refund the money. We found one more. And it needs to be refunded for $3,919.16.
Okay. So I think we can consider that.
Was that a
now.
business account or just, no, it was it's his customer?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
customer
We
being
were
charged
building him a
1 inch.
1 inch and
yeah,
it were,
it's the second one. The other one was around the same amount last month. It was on Main Trail. This one's on Elm Trail. And it, all back through history, it was being billed as a 1 inch and nobody ever complained, so we had no reason to ever know. And we're finding that stuff as we've,
That customer's happy.
yeah, very happy. So might make a couple customers unhappy, but this one's gonna be very happy.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to,
I make a motion that
process that refund.
we go ahead and process that refund and make that correction.
We'll try to.
Do I hear a
refund it
second?
To the account, just so you know, refund it to the account, but then if the customer requests, then we'll have you guys cut a check. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, any questions about that before I do a roll call vote? Okay, Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
And Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes. That's 4-0-0 with one absence, and we will be refunding that money, well, basically putting a credit on the account, or if the customer wants a refund, will be refunded. Okay, so on to anything else under financials? All right, then, we are going to move on.
Good night, Deborah.
Thank you,
Good night, Deborah. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too,
And,
Deborah. Bye-bye.
all right, so, I'm gonna do an oral announcement prior to closed session, Government Code 54957.7A. A representative of the legislative body to orally announce the items to be discussed in closed session prior to any closed session meeting. Okay, so item 10, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9D1. Fraser Park Public Utility District versus CNC Elite Properties LLC et al. Kern County Superior Court, case number BCV-24-100199. And item 11, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with real property negotiators. Government Code 54956.8. Property in question, parcels 256-070-54 and 256-07055. Agency negotiators Lisa Schoenberg, Berman Nyman, and D Jasper. Negotiating parties Jeff French and Emily Wainwright. Under negotiation. Still not saying it right. Price in terms of payment. So with that, we are going to, I think, briefly go into a closed session just to get caught up with D on where we're at with these two items. And then we will return. So if you, all of you can bear with us that are on here, we are going to excuse ourselves for the closed session and hopefully it won't be very long.
What time are we going?
Oh, it is, thank you, 6:23.
No, Pam tonight.
Hello?
This is Joan.
Hi, Joan. This is Becky. Are we both out of the meeting?
Yes, you should have been included in the meeting. Do you want to send a chat to Tiffany? She should have put you into the meeting with them.
Yeah, thanks, Joan.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Becky, are you still on here?
Yeah, but I can't get in the meeting, so I'm
Okay, hang
waiting.
on. Yeah. Let me see what I can do.
Oh, no, you're good, Joan. I'll sit this one out and, I should have been there, but my knee's acting up.
I was going to say, if you have Brahma's cell number, you can send him a text saying, hey, I'm over here, bring me in, because, you guys are discussing and deciding.
Yeah, I sent one to Tiffany, but
Yeah, Tiff
yeah, I
doesn't
tried
always
one.
get hers. Johnny gets his right away, so he would be able to bring it to their attention. So if you have Johnny's number to text him, if you don't, I can send him a text.
Yeah, I do. I have their numbers, but I'm thinking by the time I get in, it will be over.
Possibly.
But thank you, Joan.
Okay.
Okay, we are returning from closed session, oral announcement following closed session, government code 54957.1A. The legislative body of any local agency shall publicly report any action taken in closed session and the vote or abstention on that action of every member present thereon. So we're back in session at 6:54 and there was no action taken. It was informational only. So now we are moving on to item
What time?
12. I said the time.
Oh. Where's, Becky?
There she is.
There she is.
It takes her a while to get.
Okay, back in session. Item 12, discussion vote update on Fraser Park Lake of the Wood Consolidation Planning Project. We're gonna start with 12A, discussion vote on the project timeline.
No change.
No changes. Okay, 12B, discussion vote update on the budget and adjustment request.
I've heard nothing from the state.
Carlos, anything?
Nothing from me as well.
Okay,
So we'll have to, when we have our state update meeting, we'll have to press them.
Item 12C, we'll be talking a little bit about what the heck's going on. Item 12C, discussion vote update on the standby fee assessment and funding. Where are we at on that, Carlos?
We just executed the safer agreement that we needed to do with the consultant. We would have had the amendment completed this week as well, but we had a little issue where Tiffany had told me that the MBS company told her that the project would take like 4 to 6 months. So I gave us until December of 2024. So I reached out to them and see if that milestone was still obtainable. And they said that they wanted the time frame extended out till December of 2025. And
That's really not good.
so what happened is I explained to them that you guys didn't want the last phase of their proposal. And so they said that they wouldn't be done by December of 2024, but they would be done by June 30th of 2025. So then I'm still gonna put the extension date all the way till December of 2025 because I don't want to run into a mess where they say, oh, you know what, we can't finish by June of 2025, and then I have to go and redo everything again.
Are they the
So
only ones that we use? Do we have to use them? Or
well,
can-
that's who we
is there-
that's who we got the quote from. So if we go with somebody else, then we'd have to redo we'd have to redo everything.
Well, that sucks.
Well, that means they don't have the power either.
Yeah.
Okay, disappointment after disappointment. Okay.
So besides that,
Other questions?
they should get the go ahead to start work hopefully by the end of this month, and hopefully they can finish before the date that they stated.
18 months?
And so their work that they're doing is basically assessing what we would be able to increase that standby fee to.
I don't have the proposal. I don't have the proposal in front of me, but there's three phases that they proposed, and we're only contracting them for the first 2 phases. But for those, if all three phases would have been contracted for, then they stated they wouldn't be done till December of 2025. But since the third phase is not being contracted for, they said they could be done by June of 2025.
What
But
is,
what is the third phase? We don't know what the
It's
first
a-
was.
Is it
The third phase is the
optional?
engagement and Prop 218 process and uh, stuff like that. I can pull up the thing and read it to you guys if you guys want, but I have to find it.
Tiffany is saying it's just public outreach and it's optional,
Which would be
Yeah.
sending out flyers, and that kind of stuff, I would imagine, so, yeah, we can do that.
which we can do ourselves.
Yeah, you have to
So-
send flyers and then do stuff with your web page and stuff, post stuff on there, and then do some engagement. But that's what I told them, that you guys were capable of doing
We've
that, so
done
we
it.
didn't need them for the third phase.
Okay, understand.
But
Okay.
maybe,
any
but
other-
maybe you guys can reach out to them and say, hey, you know, we need this done as fast as you can, and maybe they can. But they said that June of 2025, they'd be done.
Right, thank you.
it
That's
takes
a-
for,
Very much splitting the hairs on that, because I think it's beginning to middle of May, we have to tell them what the assessment's gonna be. Tell Kern County what the assessment's gonna be, so if we don't know that number by the beginning of May, then we'll have to wait another year.
well, but we couldn't,
May 25.
and we couldn't put that in place until we have the engagement.
Public hearing.
Well, it would have to be completed, yeah, everything,
Yeah.
Prop 218, all that has to be done
Well, we're never gonna
and
meet that.
confirmed.
Yeah, this is just gonna be another one of them things that we can't stress over, cause, we can't make them go any faster than they're gonna.
No,
You
okay.
know, if we were paying ourselves and not the way we're doing it, we might be able to get somebody to do it faster, but.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Okay. No other questions on that? I'm gonna move on to 12D. Okay, discussion about an acquisition development of well 89 property. We discussed that at length in the closed session. So, we're not really able, I don't think, to talk about any of that yet in open session. The only thing we will be doing is adding, we have another property we need to discuss that needs to be added to the wording of all of this.
I just realized that we got that on D, and it's not anything contentious, so we ought to be able to.
E.
On E.
Yeah, we ought to be able to discuss it without adding it to the closed session.
Not necessarily, but,
Maybe.
okay, yeah, I didn't realize we have it here, so, okay. Okay, so, yeah, so we're gonna move on from 12D to 12E. So you can, anything that is not a closed session development, D, you can talk about here. 12E, discussion vote on acquisition and development of well 9 booster and tank site.
Yeah, nothing that I haven't discussed in the closed session. Basically, we're in the surveying mode. We're gonna topo that site, relate everything to the property corners, and then lay out that plan. And that'll be coming right up.
Okay, yeah, we haven't discussed that yet, but, okay, so, 12F. Discussion vote on project municipal service review, MSR, quote, draft MSR, data collection, scope of work, and LAFCO. We did, have that biologist come out. Anything new on that?
Well, we need to know where Ravish is. I mean, it's been 3 weeks since 3 or 4 weeks since he's had all his information to update it, and we haven't seen anything.
I think, I saw some emails going back and forth with Tiffany, and Tiffany is, if my recollection is correct, it may not be. He was, looking at a week or two to finalize it. Is that your impression?
I don't remember him mentioning a timeline, but when you guys finalized the budget, then we sent him the finalized budget numbers, so it could be that he was adjusting.
The very final budget.
The very, very final budget, I the redone final budget.
Okay, yeah,
I
because,
sent the revision, then he said he would try to incorporate that, so it could be he went back.
okay, because there were some changes, and Carlos, for your information also, and Oscar, we did make some changes in our overall budget. We went back over and looked at some things that we had made a mistake on. So, that'll end up going, we'll need to upload that if we haven't.
That one's been uploaded.
It's already been uploaded. Okay, so we're in good shape there.
You
So,
sent it, right?
so probably Bravish, maybe
Yeah.
adding those changes because it did alter our numbers.
Well, can we follow up with him and find out? Because this has just been going on and on and on and on.
Like everything else. So D12F, if we can follow up.
Feels like we don't move on anything.
Got a note.
Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, we'll go on to 12G, which actually there's nothing to go on to because it's tabled. That's the MOU. We're not gonna get to that till the end someday of this phase or the next phase of construction, which who knows when that will be. I may not be on the board anymore. Okay, 12H. Discussion vote on Lake of the Woods projects and consolidation. They may not be part of this, yeah, either. It's Boyd, Joan, and Mary. If you want to fill us in on where you're at.
Hi, folks. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello?
Oh, we were hearing you. Now we're breaking up.
Hello, vacation, so I'm filling in. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so the $3.5 million grant, which we have previously referred to as the line replacement grant, has now had an amendment added to it for another 1.5 million 1,000. So now the new total is 5 million 1,000. The other grant is 5 million. It gets confusing. So from now on, we're going to refer to this as the line replacement / generator grant. So we can keep one kind of separated from the other. On the generator portion, all the paperwork has been submitted and signed to DFA. We're waiting on the fully executed agreement. On the line replacement, all the tie-ins are done. The system-wide boil notice was canceled on the 30th. We're at cleanup and paving right now, and barring any unforeseen circumstances, we'll be finished that hopefully this month. On the $5 million, the next one that we call phase 3, which is South Tank line replacement and SCADA, still working on the plans, still working with the forestry on what they need, but it is moving forward on the plans because there are so many things that we learned in doing this last line replacement. It's like, wow, we should think about those things ahead of time and make sure we've got all of our ducks in order so the next one can go super smooth. Well number 4 is still offline. The latest readings by the handheld shows that the levels are going down. If the well, the manganese and iron, if the well is run more often, the manganese and iron drop down. If the well is left just stationary with the water not being used, the levels go up. So it appears as though, that may have a good factor to help us, and we'll know more exact figures when we do our labs next month. The blending station, the nitrates are running anywhere between 5.8 to 6.5 for the month of May. And the last 2 samples showed it at 5.8 of the May 14th and the May 21st samples. That's everything from me. Anybody got any questions?
I have one question. I think I asked this before and I don't remember what was said on it, so excuse me if I'm asking it again. The permit with forestry, when does your permit expire?
Don't remember that off the top of my head, as if I'm going on totally on memory. I think the permit is actually technically expired, but because we are in the process of renewing it, they are going to reissue it under the same permit number. It's just getting all of the data to them.
Okay,
We know from our experience that it takes
forever.
forever, so I'm sure they're used to it too. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a new gal at the forestry who is like, you send her an email and she sends an answer back the next day, or you phone and she phones back. So we've gone from snail's pace to things are moving.
Awesome.
That's awesome. The reason I'm asking is I'm just kind of curious, once we ever move forward to a point where this is really gonna happen, if we do, how much longer? Because usually do you know what you're gonna try to renew that permit for? Is it 25 years or 30 or 20?
I don't know how long the permits are allowed to be renewed for.
I think there's a couple different ones that we had some issues, so we had to do like 20 years when we did ours again, which I need to look and see when that has to happen again, but, yeah, we were having some problems with the information there is a longer one, but we weren't able to get it.
Well, I know we're asking for the maximum amount of time, but off the top of my head, I don't know what that maximum amount of time is.
Okay. Great, thank you, Joan.
Joan,
Uh-huh.
Okay,
I
any
have-
other questions for Lake? Yes, go ahead, Dee.
I do, Lisa. Joan, can you send me that contact information, the Forest Service contact information? Because I need to be making some contacts with them as well.
Aha, no problem, Dee. Be happy to.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Okay, so if there's nothing else, I'm gonna move on to 12I, discussion vote on claims and payouts. Actually, we have nothing today because that's all gonna happen next week at the state update meeting, correct?
Right. Have that in 2 weeks.
Okay, so if there's no other questions, or discussion on 12I, I'm gonna move on to 13. Okay, item 13, discussion about update on FPPD meter replacement project and emergency well supply project, a project that is going much faster than the previous one. 13A, discussion vote update on well number 7.
No,
No
no.
update, right, Dee?
Oh, go ahead, Johnny.
No, I was just saying, there's no update on that yet, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to move on where we probably need to bring that up yet again at the state update meeting. 13B, discussion vote update on meter replacement.
I do have that.
All right, Johnny.
We're for all practical purposes, mostly done now. They're going back and they're doing things like, using up, boxes that we saved initially, putting them in the ground. They're doing some service line replacements. Still working great, going killer. And since it's not technically, this is pertains to it. So far, we got a rough count of what we would have to buy to have our system fully integrated. Is approximately 40 3/4 inch, 5/8 by 3/4 inch meters, which would cost us at right now's price is $13,000. And then 6 1-inch meters, which is approximately $3,500. This is what you have to do plus tax. Then we'll have a couple 1.5 inch here and there. We don't know about those yet because Curtis is gonna try to get the state to pay for the mobile home park. And gonna try to get them to pay for, the compound meter, which is 2 separate meters at the school. So stuff like that. So I would like to, the way things are going, we can split this up in a couple phases, order like half of the 3/4 that we need now. And 3 of the 1 inch.
So
then
those,
our crew would start putting those in.
so those are all actually real businesses.
Real businesses, yeah.
That are
because,
doing 3/4.
the ones that were shy in the residential area, they're trying to get a solid count now, and to add them to the project.
Okay, so the one, okay,
Yeah, so these are.
so the
ones that
lockoffs
state
and
did not pay
things are
for.
going to get added.
The ones that they're trying to justify, yes.
Okay.
So if you guys, don't have any opposition to that, so it'd be 6,500 for half of the 3/4. And then I don't know, whatever it is, $580 a meter, 3 the 1-inch meters.
And we will be putting those in,
Yeah.
or they will be?
We will,
And that's out of our pocket,
yeah, out of our pocket.
Because the state won't pay for those.
right?
But
Yeah, for any of the businesses.
initially, I wasn't really big on like, yeah, we gotta get it done now, but now that I'm realizing how much
Money we were losing.
we're losing, I think it's important to push for it, cause it's ultimately gonna pay us back
Yeah,
by
Yeah, I
actually
think-
selling water.
I think we should go
I'll
ahead with it.
entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we allow, Johnny Allison to, get initially half of each of the meters that we need, for this month. And go ahead and order those meters and
Um,
And then will we be able to start installing them, Johnny?
Yeah, right away.
Okay, so Ann start installing.
start installing those meters
Okay, is there a second?
for the businesses.
I'll second that. Then I got a question.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, and now there's some discussion on the floor. Go ahead.
What's the lag time on getting those?
Right now, they said it's two days to ship,
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm guessing like a week.
Okay,
Um,
because I know the lag time on these other meters were,
It changes, which is why I'm pushing to get it now, because you never know what's gonna happen. Another project might get approved for 3,000 meters, and then we get bumped down the list, but it's, as of when I got the quote, it was 2 days to ship, so about a week, I think.
And you don't feel we should just order all of them, or?
I mean, I'm all for it if we have the money in there to order all of them.
Well, I mean, I think we probably could, but we might end up taking some money out of the long,
Short-term.
short-term assets.
And down the
Short-term.
road, we still have a few
Which
extras.
we have.
Okay, so I'll make the amendment. I
redo them.
redo the motion. I make a motion that we allow General Manager Johnny Allison to order the remaining business 3/4 and 1-inch meters to be able to
And
be
1.5.
installed,
Well, all the meters.
all the meters, in order to install them and get them up and running with our new system.
Yeah, we don't have to count on the larger ones, but it's not a lot. But
And again, I will second that.
Okay, any other discussion before I take a roll call vote? Okay, Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes. That is 4-0-0-1 absent. And that is for General Manager Allison to order all of the business meters needed to complete all the metering of this town and to start installing those once we have them.
I will get with you when it comes to a couple of the larger meters, when I get current pricing on that, because then we'll decide if we have the money or if we need to put it off for a little while.
Okay.
Okay, so that'll be minus the couple of very large meters that are more expensive. Sorry.
I would like to give a quick update on when the failure rate usually starts to show itself, which this time I wasn't sure. You know, we try to replace so many a month. The Neptune guy said that this meter in particular has been in service for 20 years. So they have real good data on how long it lasts. So you could start to look at maybe signs of a failure here and there in 8 to 12 years. But you recommended, I never even knew you could do this. You take a sampling out. Usually it's the meters that have really high usage, a lot of people. You pull them out at about 10 years, 8 to 10 years, and you send them in and you have them checked by a third-party tester.
Mm.
And they tell you what range they're in. He said typically at that range, they'll be less than 3% inaccurate. And then at that time, you gauge, okay, well, if these are starting go back now, we gotta start planning for these other ones for in however many years, but you hope that they last fully 20 years, but you just periodically pull samples out and have them tested. I didn't even know you could do that.
We have to have one to put back in.
Yeah, well,
You have a couple of extras and then you pull.
yeah, you pull out maybe 5 or 6 from different parts of town, because it's gonna vary depending on the water supply and everything, but so that's the game plan, is to have that all in place, so we start doing that, so we're not like now where, oh shoot, most, tons of them aren't reading at all. So. Point of interest for you.
And then, let's see, can I ask this question here? So if we see that there's people who have been way using, that the meter wasn't working correctly or whatever, and all of a sudden there's some like outrageous water use somewhere, I'm not hoping that isn't true, but.
Oh, it's happening all the time right now, but we've already implemented that plan. The
Okay.
Neptune 360 gives us, continuous usage, or the highest usages in the system. At which time, sometimes they have Joyce, Corey will go out and talk to people, and we tell them, we let them know, hey, look, there's been continuous use for this long. Half the people say, yeah, we knew about it, we're gonna get it fixed. Other ones say, yeah, I water a lot, whatever the case may be. But we are notifying everybody, to let them know. And apparently it's been a lot right now, but the Neptune guy told me that after the first 2, 3, 4 months, it kind of levels off. People start to get a handle on their leaks because they're getting billed now for when they didn't before. It'll be cheaper to have a plumber come in than it does to pay for the water. So he said it starts to level off and it's less time intensive after a few months. So hopefully that's how it goes for us.
And people realize that we're noticing if they're constantly like washing their vehicle or.
Well, we can't really tell them they
What-
can't, do stuff.
No, but
But yeah, they're gonna be notified that they have the high usage, and I strongly suspect a lot of people, again, they were only metering part of their water usage. And it's gonna cost more for them now, because, the meters weren't picking
we're
up
only
the,
picking up part.
yeah. So it's-
Because when they were failing anyways, they were reading less.
Yeah, like,
So now they're reading accurately, and so they're gonna be paying more.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
think,
my question was like the swimming pool people.
Yes.
There's a couple of those still.
well, again, I can't do anything about it unless I catch them in the act. When I can't prove, and nor can I demand proof.
No.
Even if it did high usage on the water. There was one guy, I stopped him because all his neighbors turned him in with a giant above ground pool. And when I went by and nicely explained to him about the water conservation, he had moved in after that. And he's like, oh, I didn't even know. Well, what do? I said, you call Santana and have, buy the water from him and he'll truck it in. There's one by the post office that, I never seen it happening and it's there, but it's, I can't be like the state police and go in there and start.
Right. No, I'm just curious because if we are actually now more accurate, then they're either gonna get a big bill and maybe think twice about it, or they'll be trucking it in or something.
Yeah, something, yeah. Well, it's still cheaper to pay, or even if they pay for every thousandth of a cubic foot,
It's cheaper with us.
it's way cheaper than paying a hauler to, with the diesel fuel and all that stuff, so.
Yeah.
Some people are just gonna have a pool if they're gonna have a pool.
Okay.
I got a friend who wants to put in a jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi isn't that much.
Doesn't use it like. a
You only
pool.
fill it one time and then you just top it off here and there, so that's not really a big deal anyway, but. I want a jacuzzi too, by the way, but.
Well, she doesn't live far from you, so you can just go down and
Oh,
use
okay.
her.
Okay, moving on. So, on to item 13C, discussion vote on claims and pay, or there weren't any other questions, right? No. Okay, 13C, discussion vote on claims and payouts. Again, that's happening next week. So we will move on with that. And 13D, discussion vote update on the bridge loan requests and payments. Anything else on that?
I don't think we have a bridge. loan,
No,
do
do we have one out?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if Carlos wants to update, oh, I'm sorry, Oscar wants to update that.
Oscar, you have the floor. Do you want to update us on the bridge loan?
Progress payment 3, you guys should have had that money deposited for the bridge loan draw request. And I also wanted to point out for this progress payment 3, minus the 5% retention is $236,863.50. And as of this point, at this moment, the only thing that you guys have available for bridge loan is $207,489.30. So.
Okay,
Saying we received progress payment 4 from Bruff.
Yeah, that's
They
the,
just deposited the bridge loan for progress payment 3.
3,
So we're ready to pay that one, but there isn't enough in there to cover 4, I think.
but it's close, so if we take out the additional 200,000, we should only have to come up with 10 or something.
I'm a little confused at where we're at. We paid, we got the 400 and some thousand,
Yeah, that one was paid to,
that was paid to Bruff, and but that one was on a claim,
yes.
okay? And then we had another progress payment. Was that
Which-
200?
$92,000.
Yeah, progress payment.
$70, and that was, you guys did a draw request 3 for that, which you guys should have just received the funds to pay that invoice sometime this week, I believe, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
so
Tiffany.
we haven't done the check yet on that.
No,
No, we
because
just got it, so next meeting we'll cut the
we
check.
just got it, and then we're not actually gonna probably start getting money from the state again until late August.
But we've already put that one on.
Yes,
on-
it's a claim, it's just that we're
Okay.
not gonna receive money on that because that's after the fiscal year, so the one that was before the fiscal year that we got in on time is over and done with. So we have this one, and now we have one more that they've submitted, which is beyond the bridge loan, but only by about $7,000, right? So we should be able to put in for the rest of the 200,000 and then pay some of it ourselves, but we should be able to cover that.
So,
Bridge loan is short like about $30,000 to cover that.
30,000, okay, I thought it was 7.
but we haven't cut any of those checks yet.
No,
No,
Okay. And we haven't seen that other bridge, the other progress payment. That's a new one that
the
you're.
new
Yes.
progress payment will go in claim 28. The one that you'll see
This
at
coming-
the state update meeting.
Okay. But we'll still have to pay that, but that, we'll be getting a bridge loan for that. We're gonna draw on that.
yeah, but there'll be some money that won't be included, which is about 30,000, you said.
We might be able to work with contractors or something, maybe pay them what we have from the bridge loan and ask them if, just let them know. I mean, most of them do work with the state. They might not mind waiting for a little bit of it till we get burst.
That's true also, so.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions on that? Okay, moving on to item 14, discussion vote on pipeline replacement project. 14A, discussion vote on engineering and design. Are we anything beyond 95%?
95%, that's what we are.
Any new additional information? Anything else that's been needed to be sent anywhere? Or-
And that engineering and design was submitted to DDW, right, for review? Or not yet?
I believe he submitted it. You submitted that, correct, Dee?
So Jesse,
Yes, it was submitted to Jesse and to Lawrence.
Okay.
Ruben.
you mean Ruben?
Well, hopefully Lawrence gave it to Ruben.
Yeah, he did. Okay, so, anything else on 14A? Otherwise I'll move on to 14B. Okay, so anything new on the project application? We did upload to you the, revised budget, the final budget. So that should have been, sent to them. And is there anything else that we still need?
So what do we need, Carlos?
Issues?
Yeah, the budget that you guys sent me has been uploaded via fast. The engineering contract was uploaded as well. I uploaded the environmental package, even though the NOE still hasn't been finalized, but we'll wait for that. As it comes available. The only thing I need to upload now, what was that?
Well, I was wondering where we stood, because we were supposed to follow up on that. What did they say?
I emailed, State Clearinghouse. Let me tell you, they were not helpful. We have a project number, but then I said, but when I asked them if this, if the NOE went through, they're like, you need to contact your legal something about it. Like, they didn't even answer, which didn't make sense to me. But they wouldn't answer that question.
But that's not gonna hold up, that's not gonna hold up the application, because the environmental was submitted. I put the state clearinghouse number that's provided on there. So they'll just we'll just upload it as it gets approved.
Yeah, I don't know how we're supposed to know if they won't tell us.
But basically, as long as we have a number, it's on the application and
Yes,
we should
that's all I
be-
needed was the number, so I put the number in the environmental package. And, we'll just upload it when it becomes available. The only thing I need to upload now is I need to finish up the TMF packet, which I should have it uploaded sometime next week, and we should be done and in the review process after that.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions in
Finally.
regard to that? All right, well, we're gonna move on, so I think we're done. Carlos and, Oscar already went away. So, I think we're done with you, Carlos, as well. Thank you, have a good
Okay.
weekend.
I just got one more thing to say to Dee. I know that our admin team reached out to you and said our fiscal year is coming to an end on June 30th. So any charges for this pipeline replacement project that's coming out of CTA funds, we need to get them processed before June 30th, so we can get them in this fiscal year and not next year.
Thanks, Carlos. Devin already submitted a complete list. So it's already been done.
Okay. And any future charges too that belong to this month need to be done before June 30th as well.
Okay, I'll make a note.
All right. And with that, you guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Night, Carl.
Okay, bye.
Okay, moving on to item 15, discussion about update on Cal OES Community Power Resiliency Allocation of Special District Grants. 15A, discussion about update on the purchase of the generators. I know we need to finish paying for that. Where are we at on that?
I ain't gonna pay for it yet, cause, they've only tested 3 and 2, their load banks are working right. One of them, it's only at 30%. So they got to look at adding another coil. They look like bottle brushes basically to put it under more load. They're also missing a key, ignition key for the Elm site one. They never started well 5, and that one they're claiming we don't need DEF fluid. I don't know that that's correct, so I'm making them give me proof from the manufacturer before key control. And then they haven't started up and tested Harrison yet either. So I reached out to Greg at PTS, had him respond. Usually he likes to respond on a phone call, but I included Curtis and asked him to reply to the email. And he said that he's gonna send his tech out of here again on Wednesday. I also told him that the hoods need to be painted to at least match the load bank, when really I think the whole thing should match, but whatever, we'll stick with just 2 colors on them. And so we'll see what happens next week. He wants to get paid. He submitted invoices and I denied them.
Yeah, because we had already said all this stuff the last meeting, so it's
Yeah.
still not happening.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So
Okay.
until I got the punch list they have to complete, and then Curtis has to say, yeah. And then I still think we should wait until San Joaquin comes in and signs off on it.
Absolutely. I
'Cause
agree.
if they disagree with something like the way it's vented or stacked or something like that, then we still have to have recourse and they take forever to do anything there, so.
Right.
So I'm on the ball, I'm not letting them get nothing.
All right, okay. Sounds good.
Good, and so 15B, though the load banks were placed and delivered, do we have anything, do we need to keep that on the agenda? Discussion about update on placement and delivery of the load banks?
I think we could take A off and then the rest is really what it is now. is the
No,
load bank.
we still need to purchase we still need to pay, so I don't think we should take A
Yeah, so
off.
both of them basically, because the load banks haven't been proven yet. They've been placed on there,
So can we change it, because it's not placement and delivery, it's now
testing of.
testing of load banks, and on A, it's
You
it's
could just
final
make, you could
payment.
just make A purchase slash
Final
testing,
payment,
final payment,
testing of,
and then just have one line item instead
Yeah.
of two.
Yeah, sounds good.
that makes sense, Tiffany?
No.
And
No, so it'd be something like discussion, vote, update on final payment and,
Final
testing.
testing slash purchase of the generators.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I'd like to make a motion that we table 16.
okay. We're not there yet, so were we changed? Are we good?
yeah, I got the note.
Okay, so, I have a motion on the floor to table 16 because we don't have all the directors here. Is there a second to that motion?
I don't feel up to it.
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion before I do roll call of directors? Okay, roll call of directors. Director Garcia is absent. Not gonna answer.
He's
Director
not gonna answer.
Director Nyman.
I,
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Fine.
And Director Schoenberg is an aye, so item 16 is now tabled until the next, first meeting, the next regular meeting, which is going to be in July, the beginning of July, or second week of July. So, we will continue discussion at that point on the record retention policy. Do we want to take a brief recess or just finish up?
let's finish up.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to new business, item 17.
Oh, thank you, Dee.
Thank
You
you.
might wanna hear the next one.
Oh,
Night, Dee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he needs to be here
I-
for, don't go away yet. Okay,
17.
item 17, discussion
Is-
vote on this.
is
water.
there, I have a question. Before you, and I don't know where to put this in because,
A
it really-
question where?
14.
Okay, we need to go back to 14 then.
no,
Are
12,
we okay?
12,
Huh?
12.
Okay, directors, are we okay? with
Yeah, we can go
doing
back to 12.
All right, Dee, go ahead.
What is it that you want to put in?
Here's the information. From the standpoint of the CEQA, what we're doing with respect to the CEQA and how we're progressing there, the determinations are the same. There are no endangered species. There are no protected plant species, and there is no permanent impact to the project. The report should be done by the end of the month.
Awesome.
Just
There is
wanted-
progress.
Oh, there's progress on something.
Hey, I had to report something.
And my
about-
office actually came out and did a tour. It was wonderful. Okay, so that's great. So that's kind of part of 12A. So, good. Okay. So any other questions for Dee on that before we go
No.
back to 17?
No,
Okay, item 17, discussion vote on district water tank repair replacement and funding.
So I have better news.
Better news.
Good news.
Better
So-
news is good.
We had kind of, or I had kind of thought that we had not been considered for the community development block grant application, but they got back to us. And we are under consideration now, which is good. They do have some concerns, and that is, I don't know if you read the first letter or the letter I put in there.
No,
Okay,
my
so
bad.
let me, it's okay. It says, I'll read it quick, the Community Development Division of the Planning and Natural Resources Department wants to thank you for the opportunity to consider Fraser Park Public Utility District's proposal for its replacement of its water tank using CDBG funds. Staff is continuing to evaluate this proposal for funding opportunities that may be provided in the 24-25 annual action plan and or other resources available. Yay. However, funded with CDBG funds must meet both project eligibility and national objective criteria established by Department of Housing and Urban Development. So to summarize, HUD doesn't have information that shows us as a disadvantaged community at all.
Oh, wow.
So they're going by very outdated numbers is what this representative was telling us. So he gave us 3 options right now. One is we could do an income survey. 2 is wait till the new data is available.
It is
The good thing, well, actually, the HUD data sets are going to be available at the end of July, so it's not that much wait for that.
Right.
So
What
before
we
we
try
try
to
to,
even use it because we were
I-
already disadvantaged.
not with HUD.
Not with HUD.
HUD is its own separate,
So is that like a 30-year? I mean, it's been years since we've been at this.
they don't use the census data, is what he said, because Johnny pulled the census data
Wow.
for me. And I sent it to him and he said HUD doesn't use census data. But they did say their representatives, the county's representatives, know that their information is outdated. They know that we're disadvantaged. They
So they
just
know
are
we're
gonna,
severely disadvantaged.
that's what I told them.
Okay.
I don't know if HUD uses that designation. But, so they are gonna look to help us get that, requirement met. But I did tell them for now, we're gonna wait for option 2 because it's coming in next month, the new updated HUD. If the new updated HUD data shows us as disadvantaged, we're good to go. If it doesn't, then we can look at either the
Option
income
3.
survey or option 3, which is the urgent need criteria,
Right.
which we're already working on because.
Yeah,
He
so-
left.
Immediate threat to the health or welfare of the community, but if we lose that tank, it is immediate threat.
And they did say that they're aware that it's an immediate need for us. He asked me to send him the dive report, which I did send it to him.
Wow.
So they're reviewing the dive report, they're reviewing updated financials,
And that's for Elm or Parcel B?
parcel B.
Parcel B, good.
The other concern he had was our financials. They see our money in the reserves and they ask why we can't afford it. I did try to explain restricted assets versus unrestricted funds. I said, we don't have enough unrestricted funds to replace a tank. So I sent
We
him
don't
that
even have enough
information.
restricted funds unless we were to combine all restricted funds, which we're not allowed to use.
Which is what Tiffany's saying, she
Yeah.
tried to explain all that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm working with him. I sent him that information. And he did say in a follow-up, just to let you know, we are considering multiple ways to get the improvements needed.
That's awesome.
We just need to establish the most appropriate way based on available facts and required criteria. So
Wow.
they're helping us look for funding everywhere, not even this, not even only.
Just the
community
block
development.
Awesome.
So that's good news because we're possibly now moving forward.
That's amazing. Yay.
Yay.
Good
Tiffany,
news.
yeah,
Yay.
Yeah, good job, Tiffany.
Yes,
For
thank
Tiffany,
you.
What do you considered right now?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one we did at the last minute.
Yeah, and she's the one that found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody else knew anything about it.
That's why we're always cheerleading for
Yay.
Tiffany. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is really awesome news. Any other questions on 17, huh?
My head's starting to hurt.
Okay, yes, well, we're almost done. Okay, how about item 18, discussion vote on changing the meeting time for regular meetings?
I'm convinced that it's been so many years since we had somebody that wanted to be here at all, let alone one time, that we should go to the 4 o'clock because several people have voiced pro of that. I like it better. People get done earlier. People are less tired and cranky if you start 2 hours earlier. And
It costs us less because some of your,
yeah, and I don't see a negative downside to it. We can put public comments or address that twice at the beginning and the end of the meeting. So if somebody gets off at 5 and they want to comment, they still have a chance to comment on it. And then that way we would, and both meetings would be at the same time, which would make people not forget what time that meeting is. So,
We're able to put public comments twice?
Sure. All it says is we have to give them an opportunity. We can give them 2 opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah.
and nowadays people could phone in, they could do all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean, where they couldn't do it before, now they
Right.
can.
You can be on
The
Zoom.
Yeah, if they're driving
Yeah.
home from work or something,
Yeah.
they could call and make their comments.
Is there any discussion regarding an issue with that? I know it'd probably make it easier for Oscar, and I think, you know, as long as they don't forget.
Yeah.
They're gone already. Joe and Mary, I know there was one issue, with the meetings that there's, things going on that I think Mary or maybe a couple people were attending. Is that, okay with, are there any huge issues with us changing the meetings at 4 o'clock as far as Lake of the Woods is concerned? So both meetings would happen at 4, not at 4 and 6. A little less confusing too, because they'd both be at the same time. Right now, people get confused.
I have no objections. I think it was Mary that had a calendar conflict. It would make it easier for Pam also. Mary, do you want to speak on that?
Yeah, I would be able to join at 5, but because it's much more convenient for Pam and Joan, I'm all for it.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you, Mary.
So,
You're welcome.
I will entertain a motion.
I will make a motion that we change the meeting time for regular meetings to 4 o'clock.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so it's motioned and seconded. Are there any other, discussion points before we take a vote? Okay, so roll call directors. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
No.
Is a no, okay, Director, Gibson,
Aye.
so wait a minute, oh, so that's 3 if I do it, okay, Director Schoenberg, do you wanna, can you quickly explain your no? Before I vote? I mean, is it just a preference, or is it like something that we're running into, because it's a problem if a director can't? It's a hardship on a director. I don't wanna vote yes and then have it be a hardship on you.
Well, then that becomes my problem.
Yeah. Yeah, cause it seems to be working out for the majority of everybody involved.
Okay. 'Cause if I don't vote, yeah, okay,
You gotta vote how you wanna vote.
no, I know, I mean, I'm torn, it's kinda hard, I do something earlier, but I'm willing. You what?
No, I was just gonna say, cause if she wanted to, what her issue was, but if she doesn't, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think she does.
Okay.
And do we know if Director Garcia will have a
Seems good with it. He
Okay,
voiced that in our last meeting when the topic was brought up.
oh, he did, okay. Okay, so I guess, Director Schummer will vote aye, so, that motion passes 3-1 no, 3 yeses, 1 no, no abstentions, and 1
I
absent.
got all this work to change my calendar.
Can we say starting?
Yes, when are we starting this?
Next regular meeting, right?
Yeah.
I just want to confirm it for the.
Start, you're the
Yeah.
motion maker,
Yeah, next regular meeting.
so
July.
starting July, whatever that date is.
Well, actually, Becky made it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so, item 19, review and approve meeting minutes for 4/9/2024 AP Standing Committee, 4/11/2024 regular meeting, 4/16/2024 quarterly financial standing committee, 4/23/2024 AP Standing Committee, 4/25/2024 regular state planning and project meeting, 5/7/2024 AP Standing Committee, 5/9/2024 regular meeting, 5/21/2024 AP Standing Committee, and 5/23/2024 regular state planning and project meeting. I am going to entertain a motion to address all of them at once, since I named them all in the
Go ahead,
um,
Terry.
in the agenda,
And then I need to find new paper.
unless
me.
there's one that you address separately.
Yes,
I was not at the 5-9 meeting. Can we still do them
Okay,
all
so let's-
together and put my
No,
abstention in there?
No, we will address that separately.
Okay.
But that one?
Yes. Are there any other ones that need to be pulled out of addressing them together? Okay, then I will entertain a motion to address everything but 5/9/2024.
okay. I move that we approve the minutes for 4/9/24, 4/11/24, 4/16/24, 4/23/24, 4/25/24, 5/7/24, 5/21/24, and 5/23/24. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that may not have been caught or that we may need to be corrected.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
I'll second it.
Okay. Okay, we already have a second, Becky, so, Director Gibson. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Is Nyman the second?
Nyman's the second. He was faster because of the lag, in Zoom. Okay, so, roll call of directors. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
And Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes 4-0-0, 1 absent. And now I will entertain a motion to address 5/9/2024.
I will move that we approve the minutes for 5/9/24 with any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I'll second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. If there's no discussion, any discussion? Okay, then I would do a roll call of directors. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Abstain.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes. That is 3-0 with 1 abstention. 3 yes, 0 no, 1 abstention, and 1 absent. So that motion passes as well. So all of those minutes are approved, and we are on to item number 20, discussion vote on future agenda items. Are there any, I know we discussed a couple during the meeting. Is there anything else that needs to be put on the agenda?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 7:51.
I second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion on adjournment? Okay, roll call directors. Director Garcia, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes. We are adjourning at 7:52. And that is 4-0-0 with 1 absence. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Good job, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
you.
Good night.